Mm. All right, everybody. Welcome to the Lawyer Henderson podcast. Um, Sorry about that. We were supposed to come on at 8:30. Actually, we were supposed to come on at 7:30, but then, I have been having connection issues. So we were sitting there trying to figure out, what the hell is going on with our connections, you know what I'm saying? And I'm like, man, this is getting crazy. So the connections was crazy. Connections was crazy. But anyway, how's everyone doing? Everyone hit that thumbs up button, hit that like and subscribe button. Don't forget to go to Lawyer Henderson TV on YouTube. ScrewTube has been on our case, been giving us all kinds of shadow bans and everything. ScrewTube do not want us speaking truth to power, and that's okay. We're not live right now on Blog Talk Radio, so you have to wait until about 18 minutes or so to basically that we start the program on Blog Talk Radio. Okay, so they got me set up now at 9:30. So if you're watching and calling in, you're gonna have to wait until after 9:30. So um, yeah. But when that schedule come in, of course we'll be taking your calls, of course. Um, so we're talking about Tyler Perry today, and we're talking about the fact that Tyler Perry had taken this vaccine. But before we get into that topic, man, I was basically as we was coming on, I was basically shocked to hear that Cecily Tyson, yeah, had passed. Man, I was like, wow. Now, before you know it, the white media going to come out probably going to say, well, she died of COVID. They trying to, put everything on COVID right now. But I was like, man, Cecily Tyson. I said, no, couldn't be. Yeah, but she passed. Her agent had said about 2 hours ago. They announced it on Variety.com. And of course, every time we do news sources, please understand that we always like to use our fair use disclaimer. But Variety is reporting that Cicely Tyson, pioneering Hollywood icon, dies distinguished herself in the theater, film, and television, died on Thursday afternoon. She was 96. I have managed Ms. Tyson's career for over 40 years, and each year was a privilege and blessing, her manager Larry Thompson said in a statement. Cicely threw a thought of her new memoir as a Christmas tree decorated with all the ornaments of her personal and professional life. Today she placed the last ornament, a star, on top of the tree. Her memoir, Just As I, with small roles in 1957 12 Angry Men, and her former debut on the 1957 Sidney Poitier film, Odds Against Tomorrow, followed by the comedians The Last Angry Man, to participate in the Black Exploitation 1972 to return to the screen in a drama Sounder, which captured several Oscar nominations, including one of Tyson as Best Actress. Tyson received the Oscar nomination in 1973 for Martin Ritt. Murphy enthused that the film was outstanding and added the performance of Paul Whitfield and Cicely Tyson as the devoted, though impoverished parents, are milestones in their own career. Despite her achievements on stage and film, however, much of the actress' best work was done for television. In addition to Miss Jane Pittman, she did outstanding work in The Roots, The Wilma Rudolph Story, King, The Martin Luther King Story, and When No One Will Listen, A Woman Called Moses, The Marvin Collins Story, The Woman of the Bruce. She was a great matriarch, if you will. And one of the things is that basically, you know, just to, basically she played in a lot of films that we grew up on. So she would be greatly missed. Miss Tyson was 96 years old when she died Thursday morning. So this is coming from Hollywood here that she had passed, and I think one of the things we have to understand is that this also come at a time where you got Sonny Fox, who was in the show The Wonder Rama host. He died at 95, and then Larry King died last week. Okay, so you had a lot of people who basically is passing. Okay, so we basically give our thoughts and prayers to the Tyson family and wish them, uh, you know, well wishes as they grieve. Because, like I said, Cecily Tyson was a matriarch, if you will. She was a prime example of taking movies and roles as black actresses should be going out there to look for. You understand? And the roles that she chosen, and to ignore a lot of the black exploitation films that she basically said, well, this is stereotype, typical crap that I don't want to be a part of. So Cicely Tyson was a foundational black American who was very serious about her craft. Understand? But she will be greatly missed, man. 96 years old, that is a long time, meaning that she was born in 1904, if my math is correct. you know? So yeah, so as we basically come on, we're getting that news. Again, I want to apologize to you about coming on late. They basically, Screw Tube has been messing up our screaming posts. They have been basically messing up everything uh, that we've been doing as far as checking, just coming on and doing our live stream. Like, wow. And plus my own internet problems, issues with my internet provider. But we're here, nonetheless. But we're not on Blog Talk Radio. We'll go on live on Blog Talk Radio here in a minute. Okay. We'll go on Blog Talk Radio here in a minute. Okay. So yeah, today we're going to be talking about Tyler Perry's BET special on this COVID vaccine. We're going to talk to you about why they call Madea to do a BET special that was supposed to ease the anxiety of as to why a lot of black folks is hesitant to take the COVID vaccine. Don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, I am still selling our t-shirts, trying to organize the University of Black Power, the College of Self-Education, which, as our late great Dr. John Henry Clark taught us, is that black folks, we can have a university school under a tree at a park. We don't need classrooms. Understand? And that's what that is about. It's about teaching and educating our people under a tree. That's the University of Black Power. But we're going to be talking about that. Also, keep in mind that foolish American politics. Let's discuss the issues. It's also available on Amazon. It is also available on Barnes & Noble's website. And also go ahead and pre-order your book on other books in other bookstores, wherever bookstores are sold, besides Walmart, which claims that they have sold out of the book. But my publisher there has been really advertising, and I've been helping to promote our book and trying to get them into a lot of libraries across the country now. And also, I want to come out with a book also on representing yourself in court. Okay. A lot of people who represented, I can name you a 5 or 6 people who represent themselves in court and they wrote a book on it. So it's only right for me to do the same thing. Okay. So we'll be getting that book out as well, and we'll be promoting that book as well. So be looking out for that because we deal with the facts. We deal with a lot of issues here concerning the issues in the Black community. That's the reason why our entertainment source, unlike none other, ScrewTube, have a problem with it because we bring the issues. We deal with with the facts. We're not on ScrewTube or Instagram, and we're not there talking about how to get you a date in 15 seconds or less, how to talk to women and all of this stuff. We don't do those non-threatening shows. You see, we do shows that keep the white supremacists, you know, keep their pennies in a bunch, if you will. You understand? But when we come on air on Blog Talk Radio, we'll be coming on air here in a minute on Blog Talk Radio. They basically had be coming on at 9:30. Okay, and so we'll basically and so we can already be prepared your calls here. Okay, and so okay, all right. So those of y'all who wants to call in, you got 4 minutes. Oh wow, you got 4 minutes. Wait, okay. But no, we're talking today about Tyler Perry and why I want this boycott on his BET special. Now, this is not about hate now, okay? I'm glad of Tyler Perry's success, but when we talk about what you're doing to promote a poisonous vaccine in the Black community, then that's as a Black person who was in the Black Intellectual Society, who is educating our people. That's what we have a problem with. The new voices of Black media, we have a problem with Black celebrities who is basically aligning themselves with the white supremacists just because they want to show. If you listen to our sister, our sister Vicky Dillard, she breaks down why they did call Tyler Perry, why Grady Hospital called Tyler Perry. But we're going to get into that in a minute here. You see, we're going to break it all down for you guys. We're going to break it all down for you. Now, they're talking about there's 3 people, the 3 jurors in the Breonna Taylor's case. They are asking for, according to other sources, they want Daniel Comeron, the Kentucky State Attorney General, they want him to be expelled. They want him to resign from his post as the State Attorney General. They basically said in so many words that he never put criminal charges on the table for these race soldiers. So now the 3 jurors have now turned on him because he was trying to basically say, well, when a grand jury come back with a decision, and blah, 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 blah. We heard that all before. Remember, we heard that in Trayvon Martin's case. And so why is these grand juries, why is they basically secretive anyway? You understand? So now what is happening is This is not only the information age, this is the age of uncovering white supremacy's dirt work, along with their bought and bootlicking butt dancing Negroes. We are uncovering everything. And so, therefore, you had Comaron out there talking about, oh, they only came back with wanton endangerment. Oh, yeah, they didn't want to prosecute it because, see, prosecuting the police, see, nobody wanted that. No, they don't want that. The public don't want to see the police go to jail. Uh, yeah, we want to see the police go to jail. Yes, we want to see the police go to jail. We want to see the police in handcuffs. Not only do we want the police to go to jail and in handcuffs to go to jail, we want some of them to even get the death penalty when they kill an unarmed black person. But you see, you have the white supremacists and their bootlicking, butt dancing Negroes. They're the ones, the reason why we cannot get justice in this country. Speaking of justice, I told you that we did our commentary on Jim Crow Joe Biden, how he's bringing all these illegal immigrants over here, and some of them, as Trump pointed out, okay, has, okay, hold on, we're going live on Blog Talk Radio. Stand by. Okay, so we're live now on Blog Talk Radio. But anyway, like I was telling everyone, thanks for joining us here on the Lawyer Henderson podcast show. Glad to be with you. And we're talking today about why I am specifically boycotting Tyler Perry's BET special. Okay? I am going to specifically make sure that we boycott Tyler Perry's BET COVID-19 special. No black person should be supporting this man's show. Now, of course, all the other TV shows, I have no problem you watching those, the soap operas he do, even the show that one of the actors I used to work with, Courtney Nicole, is on the show Assisted Living with him. Yeah, go ahead and watch those shows. Meet the Browns, reruns, all of that, the movies that he does. I'm good and I'm fine with that. Go ahead and watch those shows. But the one show that I am upset about is the special that he's doing today, Thursday, on telling black folks to take this vaccine. I have a problem with that. And we're going to get to that in a minute. We show in the hell earth is going to get to that in a minute. You understand? And so that's the reason why. That's actually what we're talking about today. But we're just covering all the other news that we have going around, that's out there as well. So we're covering all the other news that is very important so that you understand that we're keeping up with what's going on in the mainstream white media. Okay, it's our job to make sure that the mainstream white media see what's going on. Hey, there's a story coming out of Oracle, Florida. This stuff that happened in Florida, these white supremacists in Florida, man, they are really dangerous. There's a story coming out, and Ben Crump is now the family representing the family of Natalie Jackson. The famed attorney, civil rights, who represent the families of Breonna Taylor and George Floyd, has been retained to represent the family of a Florida high school teen seen on video been body slammed by a cop. The family of Natalie Jackson, the 16-year-old Liberty High School student, slammed to the concrete by the school resource officer, this white supremacist Ethan Fanier, hired Crump just days after the attorney called out the brutality of the Celo County Sheriff's Department, who has since been placed on paid administrative leave while the department investigates. Okay. Crump said that Jackson was unarmed and posed no threat to the officer, adding that the officer did not render any aid, instead handcuffed her as she laid unconscious. He said it is unconscionable what happened to this young girl at the hands of someone whose primary duty is to serve and protect our children, he added. Do we really need to add school resource officers to the list of fears that we deal with on a daily basis? Crump wants the deputy fired and arrested, as we reported. The Sheriff's Department said it's turning the case over to the Florida Department of Law Enforcement. As you know by now, Crump has been the center of high-profile cases centered around social justice. He repped the families of Ahmaud Arbery, Trayvon Martin, Tamir Rice, Jacob Blake, and most recently, the family of the teen wrongfully accused of stealing Maya Pincento's cell phone. Okay, so Crump, this young girl was unconscious, and if you're on Instagram, I could show you the video of these race soldiers, and when she fell to the ground, ladies and gentlemen, her face hit face first on that concrete. Huh? I said her face hit first on that concrete. So the family is suing the sheriff's department. And why is the sheriff's department in these schools anyway, being resource officers? That's the question. So we are taking your calls now at 516-418-5867, 516-418-5867. So 516-418-5867, 516-418-5867. We'll get to your calls today. We're talking about why I'm boycotting Tyler Perry's BET COVID-19 special. You understand? We're going to continue. We're taking your phone calls today on the Lawyer Henderson podcast show. Hit that thumbs up button if you're on ScrewTube. Go ahead and like the page. Go ahead and like the Instagram if you're on Instagram. go ahead and leave your comment on Instagram and YouTube. Okay. So today, this is the thing. We've been basically, um, talking about a lot of things, from Joe Biden's inauguration, how he stole the election. I came on yesterday. We talked about that a little bit, but we have to basically watch out for celebrities. We have to see when they align with the white supremacists, that becomes a problem. Okay, just because you're a billionaire or you make millions of dollars, at some point you do not want to really align yourself with a lot of industries in this particular country. Huh? Aligning yourself with certain types of white supremacists is a problem. That's the reason why the boycott on BET, which is not black owned no more, it's owned by Viacom. That's the reason why it's very important. Huh? And why would Grady Hospital call up here in Georgia, call up Tyler Perry to promote this? Why would Emory University? And I also heard that Morehouse School of Medicine is involved. Huh? I heard that Morehouse School of Medicine is also involved. But that's what we're going to be talking about today. We're going to be talking about this boycott that I'm doing on Tyler Perry and his BET special. This is not the time to be selling lies and propaganda to your people of a vaccine and a poisonous vaccine that have been rushed through clinical trials. And if you look at some of the things that Tyler Perry's do, and I'm not criticizing everything he do, of course, but if you look at some of the stuff, I'm kind of questioning a lot of stuff. Like, he saved one. Like I said, I did a commentary where he basically gave a lot of money to a high school, a white high school that whose programs were in jeopardy. So they had to get a sponsor, and Tyler Perry went out and sponsored it. But see, when I talk there about the black celebrity, like Adolphs do and Antonia Moore, we talk about these celebrities being able to then move us into thinking that they are for us, but when they're working with the white supremacists, because keep in mind they're on white supremacists' payroll. We're going to go into, of course, this story more in depth. First, we're going to talk about the fact that the white Jewish people, who, of course, you got to look at them sideways, like Farrakhan said. Farrakhan was right about them. You got to really study the white Jewish people. You got to also study the white supremacists as well, because as Tariq Nasheed pointed out, they will hold grudges for years against you. They might not get you in your 40s. They might not get you in your 50s. They might not get you in your 60s. But they're like, okay, this nigga is almost ready to, is old and getting ready to get out of here. Now it's time for us to get this Negro. That's how the white supremacists, that's how the white Jewish people, that's how they basically do things. They basically say, oh, we're going to get this nigga and it's going to be long term. That's the reason why they were upset. Paramount was upset. I think it was Paramount. Yeah, Paramount was upset with director John Singleton. Yeah, and John Singleton had calls Paramount. I think it was. Not only was he had settled with Paramount, but Paramount was sued, or another film distributor. I think it was Paramount, or a production company. I can't remember, but they cost millions of dollars that Paramount had to basically give to settle the cases. And you were like, wait a minute, Paramount, you cannot blame John Singleton just because of just one or two lawsuits. You understand? A lot of people have sued Paramount. A lot of people have sued Warner Brothers. I'm doing a book right now where I expose where Warner Brothers has stole so many people's material. And it's still in their material. Warner Brothers will basically buy the screenplay for somebody who got it from an agent, and that person's name is supposed to be on it. And they're saying, wait a minute, you purchased my script. Why the hell I'm not getting nothing for my screenplay? So Warner Brothers have been known to be sued. There was also questionable as to whether or not Warner Brothers have had basically actually got this script from the Wachowskis or however you say this name. White folks got a lot of weird names, but the Wachowskis, if I'm saying that name right, they basically stole the movie. What you call that? The movie. What it's going to come to me in a minute. But they stole this film from this black woman, The Matrix. Yeah, The Matrix. Thanks. They stole the movie The Matrix from a black woman. Okay, they didn't want the production people, the Wachowskis or whatever. They didn't want to pay the woman for a screenplay. They did a trilogy of The Matrix. They did all these things, of course. You see, and she basically was still fighting to get money from them. She even went on the Rock Newman show to try to get some publicity on it. So they hold grudges. That's just one example. They hold grudges for a very long time, huh? And so when you make a significant amount of money in the entertainment business, especially in music, they hold grudges. They held grudges with Prince and Michael Jackson for a very long time before they finally got both of them, as far as killing them or being behind their murders. So the music industry is cutthroat. The white Jewish people who are behind them, you got to investigate them. You recently had Dr. Dre, who they claim had an aneurysm. Yeah, remember that? Dr. Dre, who I think had been released from the hospital, they said his family was coming out saying, "Oh, he was poisoned." And that's what they do when they give you an aneurysm. You actually get poisoned. It's not a situation where you basically that you basically get a aneurysm all of a sudden because of something happened in your brain. You see, we really don't need the hospitals at all. The average black person, like Cecily Tyson, for instance, the average person could live at 95 or 96 rather, or longer if they thought that they have to keep on going to the hospital to get checks up here and there, and stop letting white people put these poisonous agents in their bodies so that they could live longer. As Amos Wilson taught us, you go to the hospital to get sick. And you keep trying to tell black people, and because black people are educated in white European history and culture, that's the reason why it's more dangerous for them. See, it's not dangerous for us who know our history and culture, who basically, as Amos Wilson pointed out, that you have to look at European history as mythology. Because these people' history are only no more than 6,000 years old. Okay? That's the reason why like these people who call my show up and they try to basically rationalize everything that white people do. And, you have these tethered black folks, immigrants coming from other countries. You nigga, listen here, you nigga. I come over here to America. I could basically save and buy everything I want. You nigga, y'all are lazy. You understand? That's not the facts. The fact is that you come over here and get a head start. And we have proof of that because look at what Joe Biden is doing right now. Not to get off the subject, but look at what he's doing now. He's given illegal immigrants amnesty for something that they don't even deserve. We don't know who these people are, or whatever you want to say, however you want to say it. We don't know who they are. So why would you give 11 million illegals amnesty for nothing? You did? But that is just to undermine black people in the United States. That's all it is. It is to then keep us away from getting our reparations, keeping us from getting away from our tangibles. They do not want black folks to do anything because their system of oppression has been working for so long. Ever since like I said, as Dr. John Henry Clark talked about, ever since the white man came over and he had sat down with the Native American man, he sat down with the black man, and he said, "Look how nice these Negroes are, and this wetback." Basically, now, I can get these fools. You see, our parents have been nice to them. You understand? The civil rights generation have been nice to them. You understand? And so therefore they're trying to teach us to what? To be nice to them. And you see, and that's the reason why you have a lot of black folks out here who talks about racism doesn't exist and racism this and y'all niggas, y'all always talking about racism this and racism that. And reason why those Negroes do not experience racism because you got other black people fighting against it. You see, it's easy to say something, you know, about, I don't feel racism as I'm staying in the suburbs, because you got people out there, what? Fighting in other locations to make sure that you're not discriminated against. And when the first thing that you do, you have some Negroes who basically don't even think about their race until they get discriminated directly. Oh, I'm not black, and I'm this and I'm that. And then when some white supremacists come and hit them on the head, it was because I was black. Like, damn, nigga, hold on now. You understand? But no, back to the subject. So we're getting into the conversation about Tyler Perry. Okay? And I want you to understand why the boycott against Tyler Perry must happen. It's not about hatred. It's not about hating the man. It's about him being off code now that he's a billionaire. Okay? And even if they had Master P out there. Okay? Now, Ice Cube is a different subject matter. Ice Cube was out there as a black celebrity pushing for tangibles, unlike Tyler Perry and Master P and others. Now, Master P was saying something to the effect of, we need our own basketball league or football league. And he did talk about that we need to start controlling things. But Master P basically have not expound on that as Ice Cube had. You understand? Ice Cube has expound, and Ice Cube went directly back to the grassroots. You see, you don't have Tyler Perry. The reason why I did that commentary on Tyler Perry before is because Tyler Perry have been making moves that I'm questioning about. You see, when Spike Lee came out and said that he's shaking his head and he see these two shows and he's scratching his head. At that time, we had a black president. I'm scratching my head, and I see these two shows on Meet the Browns and what's the other one? House of Pains, and it harkens back to Amos and Andy. I see Madea character out there, and I'm scratching my head. So when we talk there about black entertainment, it's all fun and games that we can talk. We can laugh at a Madea film. We can laugh at Meet the Browns. We can laugh at Madea go to jail. We can laugh at Madea basically driving through a gate and a security guard is telling her to stop. That's funny. But when Tyler Perry then basically started to align himself with the white supremacist who wants us to take this poison, now we have to put our foot down. You understand? We're not basically mad at our brother. We're mad at what he's doing to the black community now. You're sitting on $500 million, and now you got so bougie that you don't know what the white supremacists are up to. And if they kill all of us off and turn us into zombies, Tyler, who is going to be buying your Madea films? Because the white supremacists wasn't buying it at first. Your tickets was being sold by black people. And then you start basically, you helped out a white high school to save their music program or their whatever art program that they needed to be saved. And then when the police started beating us during the George Floyd situation, you start telling police, okay, let me hand you out some Kroger cards. And I was upset about that, Mr. Perry. The ideal is that you get Tyler Perry, T.I., and all these others who are not on board with the same situation that Ice Cube is talking about, meeting with the grassroots. Tyler Perry should have met with us and said, we don't think that this is a good idea. Tyler should have came to the grassroots and said, do y'all think that I should do this BET special? We all know that BET is no longer black owned. It's owned by Viacom. It's owned by these rich white folks who, by the way, have other networks. Viacom own almost 40 or 50 networks here. So we're talking about the Redstones. I think that's their names. Sherry Redstone. Her father was a billionaire who now owns Viacom, who of course is struggling and also own Paramount. And when you look at them basically controlling the situation, you got this. You got to ask yourself, where is this coming from? You put two to two together, and you get a man who basically done a lot of success in making Madea movies. You see, I like you at when you were working with Lionsgate. At least Lionsgate didn't have you doing things like this. Lionsgate said, as long as you're bringing us in box office money, you didn't have to put on a Madea dress. But he knew that was going to bring a lot of money, and Lionsgate said, "Okay, we're going to pick this man up." And I don't think Lionsgate forced him to do anything that he is now doing with Paramount, which have been the longest, one of the longest studios in this country, who basically have been releasing these TV shows and films with a lot of black stereotypes, stereotypical things. And now you also got BET, that when it was started by Bob Johnson, he sold it. Then you had TV One out here talking about their black entertainment television, and you go look at their website. They got all these white folks on their board of directors. They first come in and they get rid of your the news of the hour, your black entertainment news. Okay, which of course, as you know, I don't care for that. But my point is because we already know that Roly Poly Martin on TV One, he was not a real person that delved into the issues. But I'm just saying, they first come in and they take away your news stations. They take away your BET news of the night. See, I was used to BET news coming on all the time at 9:30 or 10:30 when I was a young boy. You understand? I was used to Roly Poly Martin coming on TV None telling us the black news. And so white people always got a problem with us when it comes for wanting us to do everything black. Oh, it's too black. That's what they told Dr. Clive Anderson. Oh, it's too black. You see, they want to multiculturalize everything black people do. They want to multiculturalize our communities. That's the reason why you have Dr. Fauci and Bill Fakes out there and Dr. Fauci out there. They want to basically reduce our numbers so they can basically make sure that they multiculturalize our neighborhoods. So they can say, see, you niggers, y'all communities are not like this. Here's Hispanics who say that the police officers are doing a good job. There's some white folks who live in your community and they're saying that the police are great. See, they're trying to multiculturalize the black neighborhoods for that purpose. And of course, because they don't have the numbers, of course, by year 2044, as we keep on saying. But I am upset with Tyler Perry here for this reason. Because see, Tyler Perry, we basically we thought that he was going to consult with the black community, did we not? We thought that if he did anything with a BET special or anything that suggested black people should go and take a vaccine that had been rushed through clinical trials. Tyler, we thought that you would come at least to the black community to try to see what we say, but we don't need you trying to say the same thing that other black people are saying on TV who's been bought and paid, or they may are going to be able to get some type of airtime. And unlike you, they're going to get more airtime on a BET special of you taking this vaccine and then admitting that in your second dose that you woke up with pain, you woke up with certain types of swelling, you woke up with a headache, and basically what? You had to take some Advil or some Tylenol. You see, we cannot trust that, Tyler. If you woke up with those pain at the age of 51, Tyler Perry, then what makes you think that a person who is 61, 71, what is they going to basically wake up with? You see, nobody's asking the question to the medical industry. All we doing is taking white people's money and the white scientists' money. We're taking Dr. Fauci money. We're taking Bill Fake's money. We're taking all of these people money and we're not asking the questions. And Tyler Perry thought that he was going to then play it smart. Well, I want them to record it because I want the African American community and blah, blah, blah. No, Tyler. See, the reason why the boycott must happen is because you didn't consult with the black community before you did something that affects us. You see, we have no problem with you doing your Madea films. We have no problem with you doing all of your other movies. That's fine. That's great. You're bringing money into the Black community. But when it comes to the science community, oh, hold up. Mm-mm. We've learned about Tuskegee experiments. We learned about what we call these other experiments that white people have done on us. The HIV/AIDS virus, taking the AZT medication. We know about the history of these white supremacists and their boule bought and paid for Negroes. So, Tyler, this boycott, all due respect, is not against you personally. It is about you understanding that we are not participating in white people's vaccine. There was somebody who came on and said that in order to get your third $1,400 payment that y'all want from the government, that they said that you had to take a vaccine to get that third check. Like, I'll pass on that. I don't care how much money you give me. If I'm not around to basically spend it, what's the point of taking this stuff? And I've told you how the vaccine breaks down in your body in my commentary. I said that basically for someone who have a weak immune system or somebody who basically are older, they are going to basically be near death. Now, a young person may be able to take it, okay, just depending on the body mass. But if we basically are advertising to take a vaccine that have been rushed through clinical trials, and we get one of our great uh, film producer to say, "Oh, this is wonderful. I feel good," but no, you woke up with a headache and pain, Tyler Perry. So you cannot promote something on a BET special and then say it worked fine, but then are not looking at the elderly that it had already basically destroyed. Now let's take a look at it. Let's go ahead and let's show you what we're talking about and what Tyler Perry is doing here. Okay, while I'm doing this, go ahead and hit that thumbs up button, hit that like and subscribe. Don't forget to like my video. I actually have a young lady who reached out and she said that, oh, I've just listened to your commentary and I just subscribed today. We'll shout out her name here at the end of the show. If we basically, hopefully I don't forget. But let's look at what Tyler Perry is doing. Now, of course, we do the fair use commentation. We read these media outlets, but we're not stealing anybody's content. This is fair use that gives us, of course, the right to read certain types of media outlets so that we could basically put things in perspective. Now, the New York Times, which is white folks' favorite news source to basically check everybody's credentials. And I guess, no, let's not go with New York Times because they always want you to log in and they want you to do all this stuff. Yeah, let's not go there. Sorry. But before we read the article on Yahoo News, let's go ahead and continue to understand about who Tyler Perry worked for. Tyler Perry worked for Viacom, who owns BET, who owns Paramount Pictures. You understand? We don't need no encouragement from Tyler Perry to take a vaccine that has basically have been trouble and has been basically filled with controversy. I don't care about the backlash of people calling me a hater or all this, But when I see somebody, a black celebrity, off code, I'm going to speak on it. Hell with that hater stuff. You won't be around to call me a hater if we keep on promoting all of the foolish thing that white people put in our faces. Yahoo News goes on to say that Tyler Perry promotes vaccine, grips with churches. What good are you? Mm. So Tyler Perry is going after the churches as well, saying, what good are you Negro pastors? Now, we got my beef with them too, but not the same beef that Tyler says that he has with the black church. Understand? We had Vice President Kamala Harris, who, of course, we've been doing um, so many articles on. They told her to lift up her arm so that she could take the vaccine. But see, my problem with this vaccine is that during the clinical trials, the vaccine that they were getting from certain types of the community, of the science community, there was some that was working fine where they were given to, white people or your high profile celebrities or all the white people who need it. And basically there was no side effects. But then there was another vaccine that they were giving to black folks. And this vaccine was causing all this Bell palsy stuff. It was causing all kinds of drooping of the mouth. Like, wait a minute, whoa, whoa, whoa. What's up with this? You understand? That's not good for us. Yeah, that's not good for us. And so how they're going to promote this is, of course, they bring Tyler Perry on. They got Madea up there. Hold on now, because I can't find this article. They're talking about Kamala Harris. But see, Tyler Perry ought to know better to get us and try to promote this. And yeah, he said some things about, oh yeah, we were skeptical. I was skeptical at first, and blah blah blah, and all of that. We heard all that because the white media gave him a script. But finally, we got the Atlanta Black Star, who we're going to be reading from. It says Tyler Perry opens up about his experience taking the COVID-19 vaccine. And see, already that is misleading. You see, how much money now is these media outlets getting paid to say this? You see, they used us as guinea pigs. They use these doctors. If Tyler Perry is advocating for this, listen, well Tyler Perry, you tell the registered nurse from Tennessee, Khalifa Mitchell, who took the vaccine, Tyler, and she got Bell's palsy. Tell Dr. Susan Moore, who basically was mistreated in the hospital before she died. You understand? You see, you walking around here promoting this, but we had people who basically, black folks, who basically had suffered from this vaccine. And what about the white nurse fainted at the COVID-19 vaccination, Tiffany Dover from Chattanooga, passed out? All of these cases are happening in Tennessee, most of them. So what is it about Tennessee and their medical staff that when you're going to Tennessee and you're taking this vaccine, and everybody in Tennessee is just basically having certain types of symptoms and things of that nature? A lot of these cases are coming from Tennessee here. Wake up and smell the coffee, Tyler Perry. It's not all the way about trying to get publicity all the time. Atlanta Black Star goes on to say that Tyler Perry is hoping that his considerable reach and influence is enough to persuade people hesitant about the vaccine to get their shot. Now, notice they said people. You see, they're already misleading here. This is the reason why you got a black media. The media mogul received both installments of the Pfizer COVID-19 vaccine himself and talked about his experience with CBS this morning on Tuesday, as well as discuss his new BET special, COVID-19 Vaccine in the Black Community, a Tyler Perry special. Perry will appear on the program with various experts to inform viewers of the known facts and statistics concerning the vaccine. Well, I would have watched that Tyler Perry. I wouldn't be boycotting that Tyler Perry if these same people and these same experts would have allowed Dr. Judy Makovich's documentary of Plandemic to be aired also for us who are skeptical about the vaccine. And if Dr. Fauci and all these other people had nothing to hide, they will allow her documentary to air on regular programs. But that's not happening. That's not what's going on. The article goes on to say that Perry told CBS's Gayle King, another bed wench, that even he was initially uncertain about taking the vaccine when he was encouraged to do so for the community. Yeah, I was skeptical, he admitted, because if you look at our history in the country with the Tuskegee experiment, the Henrietta Lacks, and things like that, it raises flags for us as African American people. So I understand why there is a healthy skepticism about the vaccine. However, Perry said that once he was able to talk to the doctors and learn about the technology behind the vaccine, he felt more reassured. Oh, okay. Well, what? You had Dizzy Kizzy, Kamikia Corbett. What was she behind the technology here? Was she over there? Was she was leading the fight and the fight against COVID, as Dr. Fauci said? Is the reason why Tyler Perry is trying to promote such a vaccine now? It has also inspired him to do the special and leverage his platform to build confidence in the black community about taking a shot. Now, notice none of these people, these white politicians, you see, when it comes to giving us our tangibles and our reparations, they don't have this encouragement. You notice that, right? They don't say that, oh, yeah, black folks, they deserve reparations, and we're going to get experts out there, and leading the charge is going to be lawyer Henderson on the podcast or radio. He's going to make sure that we go to Congress and talk to these fools about what they owe us ever since slavery. You see, they don't bring us on for that. But the article goes on in Atlanta Black Star to say that I got the top expert here in town. Dr. Carlos Del Rio is an epidemiologist who's brilliant and to be able to ask those questions. And not only for myself, but share them with the community, he said. You know, I've got people who love what I do and kind of follow me. You understand? What I told them is that I'm not taking this vaccine because I want you to take it. I want to give you the information so you can make your own choices. So I can think that that's what it's about, education and information. Now notice Tyler told his whole entire young black staff at his studio. He encouraged them to take it, for what I understand. I could be wrong, but I think that he did that. And Tyler, I basically asked the question, did they take the vaccine because they feared that if they didn't, that they would be fired? Or did you give them this pet talk into which they were saying, "Oh, yeah, I'll take it," and yeah, because it's coming from my boss, Mr. Perry, and basically we need our jobs. I don't want to go back working for McDonald's, or I don't want to go back, working for Pizza Hut. Okay, and so therefore, I'm telling you, no job is risk taking anything that is deadly to our people. I don't care who the employer is. I don't care about working for Tyler Perry. I can care less of that. What I'm concerned about is why is this being promoted to target black people alone? Why is white people not promoting this in their neighborhoods? Why is Hispanic people not promoting this in their communities? Why is Asian people, who basically where the Chinese virus came from, what Trump called the Chinese virus, why they're not promoted in their communities? You see, they always wanting black people to promote stuff. You see, it goes on to say that Perry confirmed that he took both doses of the vaccine, and others did a few aches and pains, felt fine afterwards. When asked if he regretted taking it, he answered, "Not at all." Because here's the alternative. The problem with this COVID 19 virus is that you never know how it's going to affect you. And I had people who have died that I know. I had people who have had long-term health issues that I know had COVID-19. See, they always put that spin on it. This is a script that they gave this man. This is a script that they gave him. This is what you say to the black community. You say, "Yeah, yeah, oh, we're skeptical about it, but when I took it, I felt fine." No, but you also said, and you acknowledged that there were side effects. Just like in most medications, that there's always side effects. That's the reason why they recall a lot of medications in clinical trials. See, it used to be a time where they basically recall medicine and vaccines in clinical trials. Now the white supremacists have gotten so very strategic that they're just saying, "Screw it. We're going to go to the judicial system and say, y'all can't sue us now if we're telling people to take this vaccine." Okay, well, if I can't sue you, I'm not fit to take it. You understand? If you don't take it, you can't get that $1,400. Okay, well, I guess I won't be getting $1,400. I don't qualify anyway. It goes on to say that so if you're making the choice of getting the vaccine, and even though it's 95.96% efficiency, which happens is you are reducing your chances of ending up in the ICU by 100%. So I think that's just important that people know that if you take your chances with COVID, you never know how it's going to affect you, and it could affect you long term, he added, given a script. Perry was adamant that if others just had the information he was privy to, it would change minds about the vaccine. For the director, the BET special is one meaning of doing that. Excuse me. He would call a group of black crew members working on the show whose own eyes were open about the knowledge that they had a hand. Here we go. Here we go now. The special that we're doing on BET on Thursday night is so important, he said. Now, notice that he didn't talk about. No, let's read it. He said that he said, "Because I have a crew that work for me, and that's largely African American people who were all skeptical about the vaccine when they sat in a room as they work in the cameras and doing hair and makeup and all that stuff." But Tyler Perry have a lot of white people working for him. Notice he didn't say about them taking the vaccine. You see, what we have to understand here is that we have a two-tier communication for white people versus black folks here. White people get away with everything here, and basically they sit on the sidelines, and we have to get all of these rules told to us. And basically, they don't have to do anything. And that's the problem. Goes on to say, though, that they listened to all the information about the time we got to the end of it. They all wanted to take it. Harking back at what I was telling you earlier about his crew taking this vaccine. It goes on to say, though, that so I think, again, it's just going back to getting the correct information and getting it from people that you trust and you understand. I think this last administration did a lot of damage in eroding trust. There we go. The blame Trump thing when it comes to this vaccine. But this information I've found has been very helpful. The special is set to air on BET Thursday, January the 28th at 9:30. So they got Madea to tell you that this vaccine is safe. Excuse me. Keep in mind, though, that you couldn't tell that white nurse Tiffany Dover, that this was safe. You couldn't tell that registered nurse in Tennessee, Kavia Mitchell, that black doctor who took the vaccine and got Bell's palsy. Tyler Perry, can you tell Dr. Susan Moore that was mistreated in the White Hospital before she died of COVID? You got Hank Aaron's, who I think they said took it, and then he died. You got other black people coming out talking about they know a loved one who had taken this vaccine, and before you know it, they're gone. This is what they're doing. You see, we've been telling you in the New Voices of Black Media that when the older people take this vaccine, their bodies cannot take it because they are already up in age as it is. They don't have this just developing and growing tissue that, let's say, like a baby, let's say like a teenager has, who basically is energetic when they play basketball or they play football or they play run track or whatever. You're talking about two different bodies here. And that's the reason why the older people are dying quick of it, because they cannot sustain the type of agents that is in that vaccine that they're trying to give us here. And that's the reason why they needed to promote it to the black community. They always promoted things to the black community. They promoted AIDS to us by having Magic Johnson talking about, oh, I took it, I got HIV. And what did Magic Johnson say? Well, I've been going to each city and state, sleeping around with women, which is supposed to have been a white male homosexual disease. How did it find its way to its proper place in the black community? We have to look at the white supremacists and their plan and their plot and their strategic plot against our race and why they wanted to reduce our population. You see, you niggers, y'all need to start wearing condoms. You niggers, y'all can't afford no children. Y'all should get an abortion. It is always some type of genocidal pursuit dealing with these people. And they just begun. They're not going to stop. What AIDS didn't do, COVID is now doing. And what COVID is not going to be able to do, they're going to come up with some other disease 1 year later. It's going to shut down the economy again. At this time, they're just going to just have the army to come to your house to make sure you got that vaccine. Oh, nigga, you're not going to take that vaccine. You can't come out. We're going to put you in these concentration camps. How the white supremacists, how they're basically so diabolical here. And for them to then use Tyler Perry to sell this fraud to the black community, that to us is even more outrageous. How is Madea going to be able to tell us to take something that we still don't trust? As he has said himself, there was a lot of pain here. There was some pain. And he's 51 years old. So that meant that if he got the headache and he got the pain, just imagine if he was 61 or 71, as I said earlier. You see, we have to be able to understand when the white supremacists are up to something. And they sell it, like I said, because black people are good promoters in everything. Black people will promote anything and everything as long as they're getting some chump change for it. Now they're giving Tyler Perry this BET special. Okay? They're giving him this BET special. And the BET special is supposed to, of course, tell us that, oh, you should not worry about taking this vaccine. Oh, you should not worry about it. But I'm worried about it because I don't know what kind of poison that you're putting in my body. What is these foreign agents that you're putting in our body here? You understand? That's why I'm worried. And why is there a vaccine for one group of people and another vaccine for another group of people? You have Pfizer and you have Moderna out here. Okay? But then you have doctors who are basically telling us to be skeptical. They're risking their lives. And Dr. Fauci had tried to intimidate Dr. Judy Malkovich, who basically was featured in the documentary Plandemic, and to try to tell us and warn us that he is on a genocidal pursuit along with him and the CDC here in Georgia. Speaking of Georgia, it was Grady Hospital, where you already know that you should not be going to Grady for any medical treatment. As she pointed out, every state got a hospital you just don't go to. Here in Atlanta, Georgia, it is Grady Hospital. In Oklahoma City, where I'm from, is University Hospital. A lot of you got your other hospital you just don't go to. You know that your people are not going to survive after they go to that hospital. You just don't go to it. Grady has been known to get lawsuits because of all kinds of issues with doctors making mistakes and people just dying left or right. When they go to the emergency room and stuff like that, or they go get a checkup, you come in one situation and you go out with another. And Grady is not the only one. Wellstar and others hospitals as well, you got to look at them too. Southern Regional, you have to look at that one here as well. There's a lot of hospitals in Georgia. It's just like, these doctors, I guess they just didn't basically pay attention in medical school. You know what I mean? It's like, man, if I do get a doctor, give me an Indian doctor. He basically knows. In fact, Cuba is where black people should be traveling to go get their health care, if they can afford it. Because the white supremacists, they're not going to give us adequate health care. They hate us. It did. So we're talking about the facts about boycotting Tyler Perry in his BET special today. And why his BET special, in which black folks, if you still look at BET, if you're still looking at these shows that BET produces, then hell, I'm questioning that anyway. I'm questioning it because BET has not been black since black been black, if that makes sense. But I wanted to get you to understand about these black celebrities and what they do a lot of times to get attention. You got Obama out there, he's wanting all this attention as well. Is at some point you got to just stop and say, what is the problem? Why do y'all need all of this press? Just because you're doing this and you're doing that, you don't need to basically promote it all the time. But Tyler Perry's going to get a show out of this. But we cannot trust the science community. We've done, in the black community, in the black new voices of black media, rather, we've done all kinds of shows and commentary on this pandemic. We did all kinds of shows on the COVID-19 so-called virus. Huh? So we have to be very skeptical, of course, because we have basically got the evidence that this was rushed through clinical trials, y'all. And they're not giving people an alternative here. Like one doctor said that there is an alternative to taking the COVID vaccine. There is basically a alternative to this, and you had Dr. Fauci and other people in the science community say, "Nah, we're not listening to y'all. We're going to do things our way." Because what is the ultimate goal? It is to reduce the population of black people. That's their goal. That was their goals in AIDS. That's the reason why they killed Dr. Boyce Graves. And that will be their continuation. And they're so desperate because their numbers are not going to be there. So they got 20 years because they're going to be a minority. White people will be a minority in their own country. That's the problem. See, go ahead and hit that thumbs up button, hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel here. So, you see, commentary is very important. See, we didn't have commentary in the 80s, 70s, 80s, and 90s. So we were forced out on the streets. We were forced to protest. We were forced to go out and do the work. But now we got so lazy because of the internet. We got a lot of internet revolutionaries out here who talks a good game, but they're not out there doing the work. So let's go over again what we are boycotting Tyler Perry for. The Daily News have reported on January 27th, which was yesterday, that Tyler Perry get both COVID vaccine shots, hopes new BET special help inform others. Why do the white media pick and choose black celebrities? Answer that question. Maya L, thanks for being a new subscriber. Thank you. Armaya L, or Eli, thank you for subscribing. Hope that you listen to the Lawyer Henderson show as we can basically try to get a set schedule so that you can basically be notified when we come on live. You can hit that thumbs up button notification as well. But the article on Daily News talked there about the same thing that I mentioned earlier. The filmmaker Tyler Perry hopes to inspire off-screen action by informing more people about COVID-19 vaccines. You see, this is not about more people. This is about Black folks. The actor director received both doses of Pfizer vaccine this month, he said Tuesday on CBS this morning. Now, notice they're not talking about the Moderna vaccine. Yeah? Did the nurse that basically not received, well, when she received the COVID vaccine, does she have Bell palsy by taking the Moderna vaccines, or did she take the Pfizer vaccine? I just need to ask that question. But the article goes on to say that now he seeks to answer questions with a new project on BET, COVID-19, Vaccine and the Black Community, a Tyler Perry special, debuting Thursday, for which he spoke with experts in the medical field. This is the TV special I'm boycotting. I'm asking Black folks, do not watch this special. My first time having to boycott another Black person. Do not watch this special. This is worse than the R. Kelly documentary series. Worse up on worse. Do not watch this special. How can a government, who has not done a damn thing for us in the Black community, wanting to basically tell us, oh, you Black folks, we care about your health so much. Hey, listen, we got this vaccine here, and of course we got a Black woman. Her name is Kamikia Corbin, and she's leading the fight. Here we go. And oh, yeah, we got movie mogul Tyler Perry. He's doing a BET special. So some white Jewish people have been behind closed doors. They've been doing this. They've been promoting this. And now they're trying to basically give it to us. And we know ScrewTube is not going to allow you to comment on my page. Because anytime I say something that dealt with the truth, ScrewTube turns off the chat. But the article goes on to say that now he seeks to be able to ask those questions, and not only for myself, but share them with the community. I got people who love what I do and that kind of follow me, like he said earlier. This is coming from a different article, though. Let's skip that. It says Perry 51 told host Gayle King that he initially had concerns about the vaccine. Now, remember, when the white media brings you on, they always like to say, okay, yeah, we understand what your anxiety is. We get that you might be a little bit skeptical, so they have to write all this crap in there. Concerns about the vaccine, but felt very, very happy once he got more information about it. Okay? Now here's Tyler Perry, 51, talking about he felt happy about taking a vaccine that had been rushed through clinical trials. That's questionable. I was skeptical because if you look at our history in the country, with the Tuskegee experiment, the Harriet Lacks, and things like that, it raises flags for us as African American people, Perry said. So I understand where there's healthy skepticism about the vaccine. See, they get all of that out the way. That, oh yeah, we understand you niggers. I mean, we understand you Black folks. Y'all might be, you might be skeptical. We understand, and we're going to put that in our article too. We're going to write about that, about Black people's skepticism, that they're worried about this vaccine. We're going to put that there. Perry said that it was important for him to understand the technology and the research behind the vaccine, and credit the experts he spoke with that explaining it well. Okay, so Tyler Perry has been approached by medical doctors um, from Grady Hospital, who, as I told you earlier, got a bad rap in the black community. Been approached by Emory University. Been approached by Morris. What you call this black college that black men go to here in Georgia? Been approached by all of these so-called health professionals to get on board to promote this, and so now BET is giving him a special. See, no special about our tangibles. No special on our economic conditions or reparations or thing about that. Oh, we don't no special about police genocide. No special about punishing the police. But you niggers, here's a vaccine. That's a problem. You understand? And that's the reason why we're boycotting Tyler Perry's BET special. We're telling black people, do not listen to this special. Don't look at it. Don't even watch BET tomorrow or today, rather. This special is going to be basically telling you, oh, yeah, go ahead and take it. Like I said, why is BET, since it's not a black owned conglomerate no more, why don't you go ahead and put on the pandemic and let us watch that after we get finished listening, looking at Tyler Perry's BET COVID-19 special. You understand? So that's what I want for everybody to understand. I want people to understand that this COVID 19 is a danger to our community. Yes, I said it, and I may be found dead somewhere, but I don't care about that. We got to stop allowing white people to sell us lies. They don't give a damn about us. What they give a damn about is selling or making money, rather, off in stuff. And that's it. And I'm very happy now because the man who basically knows a lot about this virus is on the line. Let's go to area code 647. It's my good friend Patrick. You're alive with Lawyer Henderson. Go ahead.
Hey, how you doing? Maybe it's my line, but I can barely hear you.
Oh, you can on YouTube or on? Hold on.
That Tyler Perry show,
Mm-hmm.
but um, what is this new show primarily about? I couldn't get all of that. Like what's the gist of the new show?
Well, the gifts of the show, well, for what I understand, is that Tyler Perry is going to be talking to medical doctors, and they basically, I think, they shot, or I guess they basically recorded him taking a shot, and he's going to be talking to experts, supposedly doctors here at Grady and other hospitals here in Georgia about the vaccine and why the black community should take it.
Oh, okay.
And that's the reason why I'm boycotting this. Do you think I'm wrong for boycotting this, Patrick?
I mean, I wouldn't. Yeah, I wouldn't watch that. I mean, that's not something I would ever be interested in.
Okay.
Not just coming from him, but just really from him. That's not a show that I would be interested in. But I think
Yeah.
We're getting a lot of information from a lot of different sources,
Okay.
and I don't know if this is a source that because when you have these kind of shows, there's always a point of view. It's never, hey, let's look into it. Well, it's almost never, unless there's a true documentary out there somewhere, but it's never, let's take a good look at what this is and put out all the information for people to make their own choice. There's usually a point of view from the person who's making the show. Either take it or don't take it. So in this case, he's pushing the vaccine.
Right.
Not putting out information for people to make their own choice.
Absolutely.
So from what I gather, so I'm with you on that, right?
Right.
I don't know if this is the person that we should be listening to for us to make this type of very important decision.
Right.
On whether to take this vaccine or not. Because even though he may be talking to doctors, and even though there may be some doctors there, they're all going to have his point of view. He's not going to talk to people necessarily that is going to go against his point of view, because that's what he's pushing, right?
Right.
I agree with you there.
Yeah. Yeah, I think what they're trying to do is they're trying to push on us that we should take it. And like you said, it should be our choice. I mean, you brought it out. You said, hey, this is the vaccine. You said we have a COVID epidemic. Okay. All right. So why don't you do just like any other so-called disease that you bring out and let us choose whether or not we're going to go to the hospital and take this thing if we get it. And that's become the problem. The science community have been so desperate out here that they are willing to just say that, oh, anything is an outbreak or everything is. It's like at this point, that's the reason why people are staying away from the hospitals now. See, that's the reason why we're very skeptical about the industry right now.
Yeah, it's very funny up here in Toronto. There's a guy that just got the vaccine, right?
Yeah.
And he got tested a few days later. He got tested positive for COVID.
Wow.
Right?
Uh-huh.
So then the news and everybody went scrambling to try to explain it. So they said, oh, well, it takes 6 days to work.
Wow.
And everybody's like, okay. And I think he went and got tested again and it's positive. They said, well, it's only 95%. So you must be part of the 5% that it didn't work on.
Yeah.
And we still suggest that you get the second vaccine. And so people over here are like, okay, what's going on here? Like, this is ridiculous.
Yeah.
And then they told him, well, it may not work. It's not going to work on the new strain. So there's going to be a whole lot of other vaccines coming out. So you have to take all of them or something like that.
Right.
I mean, it was just nonsense the way that they couldn't explain what was going on.
Mm-hmm.
And so I found that interesting.
Yeah.
I found that interesting. I was like, okay.
Yeah, so we're going to continue to try to tell people that is listening that do not watch this special. It's worthless. It's useless. It's basically it's just giving yourself permission to to giving yourself, I guess, permission to to partake in your own genocide, I guess. But it was interesting that when you remember when you and the lady came on last time. We talked about, I think it was how her daughter took some vaccine in the past that had caused all kinds of situations in the body and disformity and all that. I'm like, man, it's like, wow. So we heard about the experience from regular people in the past about vaccines in general. And just for a filmmaker to come out and say, well, I took it, I feel fine. But, but they keep on talking about the Pfizer one. But no one is talking about the Moderna one, which basically, of course, obviously Tyler Perry did not take that one, or the company at least did not prescribe it. Do you think that they basically are given one dose to specific people and another dose to another specific group? What do you think?
That's how vaccines are put out. They're put out in doses and batches, right?
Right.
So there, I don't know if you heard, but I forget what country it was. So there was not COVID vaccine, but years ago there was vaccines that were sent to Kenya.
Mm-hmm.
And what happened was when they found out, when the Kenyan government found out, they verified it. They said, "Oh, we don't know how they got in this batch." See, there are batches that are sent different places. There are batches that are going to different hospitals or different locations. So we don't know. They said that they didn't know how the steroid got into the vaccine, which means that different things get into different vaccine batches. So the batch that went to one place that was, maybe England,
right,
from a pharmaceutical company was different than the batch that went to Kenya.
Right. And so that's what was
You see what I mean?
right. I understand, and that's what my point was earlier. We shown that these nurses from Tennessee may have had these vaccines that basically were causing all these problems because I reported earlier that Nurse Mitchell, she's the one that got the Bell palsy. Another doctor, a nurse in Chattanooga, Tennessee, she's the one that fainted on national TV. So the dosage that they've given people in Tennessee may be different from the doses they're giving people in Georgia or where you are in Canada there. But I think either way is just dangerous,
Absolutely. We don't know what batch is for what. There are batches that have been bad, and people have been getting bad reactions from the vaccines in the past, where other batches went to other areas that didn't have. So there's different things, apparently, in different batches. It's like what happened with Kenya. Apparently, there was something in that batch that went to Kenya that wasn't in the other batches that went other places. Because they found out what it was, and it was a steroid. So now you got thousands of girls who can never have children.
Right. I read about that.
Vaccine that they took.
Right. So you see, never have children. That's crazy. That's crazy.
For a young woman who may want to have children one day to know that she cannot have children because of the vaccine.
That's their plan, to sterilize women so they cannot have kids. That's one of their goals. Because if you're not appropriating, well, that helps to reduce the population here. But I wanted to talk more about what else did you learn about that story in Kenya? Can you expound on it? Is that the only thing that you taught that you understand about it? And when did this happen?
Yeah, Mr. Henderson, let me try to call you back because I can barely hear you.
Okay.
Let me try to get on another line and call you back.
Sure.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Thanks. All right. So the sound, we're gonna get that. Hopefully, let me see what's going on here. All right. So if we have, hold on. Let's see, check the sound here. Okay. Got all right, so we basically been talking about this vaccine, the COVID vaccine. And we basically been skeptical as to why, we should take this vaccine, but then they came out here with Madea. And so now Madea is telling his audience, go ahead and take this vaccine. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, notification bell. Go ahead and do all of that. And here's the thing. That was a good point. When they had the situation where the girls in Kenya were sterilized, they can't have children. That was one of their biggest points that they were trying to do, really, to try to kill the egg and all of that within the body of the female, so they would not appropriate. That was one of their the reasons why a lot of vaccines were created. And so when they did that in Kenya, I was like, why? That was kind of like interesting, you see. And they try to do more of that. That they basically want to do more of that. You understand? So we're going to basically continue our call here, and we're going to talk more about why this vaccine is a problem. And hopefully it's Blog Talk Radio here. We're going to check our connections here. Let's take a music break right quick. Yes, thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us here on the Lawyer Henderson TV show. We're going to basically, continue our boycott against Tyler Perry because he knows what he's doing is not okay. Tyler Perry knows what he's doing is not good for the Black community. Anytime that you say, "Oh yeah, I was approached by Grady Hospital," "Oh, I was approached by doctors," that's kind of like suspect to us. If you're on Instagram, go ahead and hit that like button. On YouTube, go ahead and hit that notification bell, subscribe to the channel. Go ahead and leave the comments below. Our Cash App, of course, is $Lawyer Henderson 40. Go ahead and leave anything that you basically wish to contribute to the show. But why is we boycotting the BET special that Tyler Perry is going to do on COVID-19? Because we don't know who these doctors are. We don't know the information that they're selling us. Do we know the information that they're selling us? We don't know. Or it's legit? Is the information they're selling us is legit? Let's look at that. Okay? We have to be able to understand these issues here. And when our Black celebrity, is off code, we have to be able to understand that and to call that out. 516-418-5867. That's the number to call in. We only got a few minutes here left on the Lawyer Henderson podcast show. If we're having technical difficulties, we'll try to get the engineers to fix that, but we shouldn't. We should be all right. So we're basically going to take another call here. Area code 34336 dropped the call. All right. So that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to basically get Tyler Perry to explain himself about doing this special. What's the purpose? Why is it that they have to approach black people, black celebrities? What is the purpose? Y'all not telling the white community to do the same thing. Y'all not telling the Asian community to do the same thing. What about the Hispanic people? Get them to promote this. Why it always to be black folks to promote stuff? And they came and they went and got Tyler Perry to do their dirty work. And go listen to our sister Vicki Dillard. She also did a podcast special commentary on this as well. We got a few minutes if you want to call in, 516-418-5867, 516-418-5867. We're looking at the whole picture here right now about what this is all about, y'all. We're looking at why they approached Tyler Perry. You did? So what we're going to basically tell the people in the black community, tell our people, we got to be very steadfast when the white supremacists come up with things because we know their history. We as foundational black Americans know the history of the European more than any other race and group, and we study them and we fight white supremacy more over than everybody else. And that's exactly what we're going to continue to do, is to call out the white supremacists. I think they said the Nation of Islam got something on the website for black people to read about virus. I mean, the COVID-19 vaccine. Sorry, COVID-19 vaccine. So when you see this show, it says Lawyer Henderson TV boycott Tyler Perry's BET COVID-19 special. It's not about being a hater. It's about telling our people that this is off-code behavior. That's it. That's all. Thank you for listening. So YouTube, let's go ahead and close it out on YouTube. We'll go ahead and close out this broadcast on YouTube. Okay. And don't forget, before we go, ladies and gentlemen, hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe. Go ahead and hit the thumbs up button and leave your comments. I'm Lawyer Henderson with Lawyer Henderson TV. We're going to remind you to do not watch the Tyler Perry's BET special on COVID-19 vaccine on BET. Thank you for listening.